kind of surprises me. All right, so fresh off his assassin stabbing himself in the neck in court. Did you see that Ryan Ruth story? We talked about that last night. So the guy who tried to shoot Trump at the golf course, he had the rifle sticking out of the tee box or whatever. I don't know. I don't. There's something more than meets the eye going on with that too. But that guy was in court yesterday. They were getting the verdict to his attempted assassination of Trump. And if you've looked into this Ryan Ruth guy, he's a different sort, boy. He was recruiting people in America to go fight in Ukraine and all of that. Somebody writing in, fireworks at a memorial is fucking clown shoes. It is a little weird. It's a bit much. You know, unless you're a pro wrestler, then pyro is okay. I don't know. But everybody grieves differently. There, but for the grace of God, go I. So this Ryan Ruth guy who's been involved internationally, tried to kill Trump. He gets to court yesterday. They announced the verdict. He's going to be guilty. And he decides to take a fucking pen. I have a pen way over here. He takes a pen, in case you didn't know what a pen was, you know. He takes a pen and tries to kill himself by jamming it into his own neck. That is a dedication to wanting to go that you just don't see out of everyone, you know? Because, look, there's depressed people out there and, you know, call the suicide hotline and all that, get some help. But there's people out there who want to do themselves in that would not do it with a pen. That they're like, I want to leave this world behind. And you're like, all right, your option is take this pen, jam it into their neck. And you're like, you know what? I think I'm going to give it one more day. Jamming a pen into your neck is like, there's no second thought about it. I mean, you've thought about it. You've confirmed in your own head, this is the way you want to go. Because it would take not only getting the pen in there, which I can't even imagine doing, but then digging around and scraping and like you got to create a big enough wound and sever an artery with a pen for you to bleed out and die. It's a fucking horrific way to go. And this Ryan Ruth tried to do it and lawyers had to stop him and they did. And they were able to find him guilty of wanting to kill the president. But that's the nastiest. That's dedication. Doing it that way. So while that was going on and Ryan Ruth was not living his best life, Donald Trump was at the UN, and I'm convinced that they were fucking with Trump at the UN. I think they were seriously fucking with Trump at the UN. First of all, they broke the escalator. They did. Like, I'm convinced they broke the escalator on this guy and made him go up the stairs on his own. We'll play that. We got a bunch of clips from his speech today that we can go over. Tylenol, not good. That's still my favorite from yesterday. When he couldn't say acetaminophen, and then he was like, Tylenol while you're pregnant. Tylenol, not good. Instead, he didn't give us the medical reason why. He didn't give us, evidence of the studies or anything. It was just not good. You can't have Tylenol. Why? It's bad news bears. So Trump goes to the UN. He's going to give a big speech yesterday, and they fucked with his teleprompter and they fucked with his escalator. And I'm convinced that this was intentional because Trump went in there yesterday, and I don't know if you saw it. We're going to play it for you. If you've already seen it, enjoy it again. Donald Trump went in and shit all over all these different countries. So countries that have a lot of migrants coming to Europe and the United States, he basically called them out in the nicest way Trump can. And he was like, you guys are fucking up our countries. Your people are shit. Your country is shit. And you're turning us into shit. It's like Tylenol when you're pregnant. It's not good. So Trump goes and he goes there to use the escalator. I mean, after all, the guy's damn near 80. Could use some moving stairs. So he and Melania, that beautiful woman, are going up the escalator, and guess what happened? Fucking broken. He gets on the escalator, and look, stops. Please, that is not a coincidence. The bitter UN people are fucking with him, making him go up the stairs. And I would have not thought anything of it. Escalators go down sometimes. It happens. Sometimes they go up. Am I right? But then he goes to do his speech and his teleprompter breaks. And the teleprompter's not working. And I think he basically threatened to execute someone over it? I don't know. You be the judge. It's the first clip we have of his address to the United Nations. This is Trump yesterday. This feels like a thinly veiled threat.
Thank you very much. Very much appreciated.
I think we can officially say that Don's got scrote chin. He's an old guy, man. We got to, this has got to be our last old president for a long, long time until they develop robotics and Peter Thiel's in charge. We can't really have any of more of these old men. And I'm talking old, like even 70 is too old, but 80. I mean, these guys, our last two presidents are sitting around turning 80 in the Oval Office. We can't have that. He's got ball chin. The area under his neck. This is, if I don't get this, if I go back down to 210, 215, and this is still hanging around, and if I don't have this lasered off, I'm going to end up with ball chin. It happens to the best of us.
And I don't mind making this speech without a teleprompter, because the teleprompter is not working. I feel very happy to be up here with you nevertheless.
See, if they are doing this to fuck with him, this is a big mistake. Because the last thing, if you're the UN, the last thing you want Trump doing is winging it. What they don't understand is this ain't Obama, Jack. This ain't Biden that reads every word on the teleprompter. This is a guy who really has a strong belief in himself to wing it. And when he wings it, he brings out the roast material. So I don't know if you really want Trump going in there without it, like, oh, we're going to knock out his teleprompter. That'll be funny. He's going to call you names.
And that way you speak more from the heart.
Uh-oh.
I can only say that
you're all a bunch of queers.
Whoever's operating this teleprompter is in big trouble.
No, it's not funny. Like, even the guy you guys think is the nice guy president, he drone bombed a Muzzy who was an American citizen for no reason other than he was talking shit. What do you think I'll do? I can tell you one thing. It will be not good. As they laugh nervously, like, oh shit.
Hello, Madam First Lady. Thank you very much for being here.
Now let's dispense with the pleasantries. Where are the beaners? See? Turn the fucking teleprompter back on. So Donald Trump touched on a lot of different things during this speech. He touched on, he really just kind of took his machine gun into the UN and just started spraying in circles. He talked shit about Europe. We have that in this clip here. One thing that Trump, I think, still does well is he has a way of voicing the opinion of the common man to powerful people. He has a way of speaking plainly to them. Like, I think a lot of the reason working class people vote for Trump is sometimes he talks to the media and he talks to other leaders in a way that they can kind of see themselves talking to them. And that's what we have here. With Trump saying to European leaders' faces that they are destroying their heritage.
Gadocious way, but it's true. I've been right about everything.
President Gino Bisconti, ladies and gentlemen. And let me tell you guys about COVID.
Telling you that if you don't get away from the green energy scam, your country is going to fail. And if you don't stop people that you've never seen before, that you have nothing in common with, your country is going to fail. I'm the president of the United States, but I worry about Europe. I love Europe. I love the people of Europe. And I hate to see it being devastated by energy and immigration. This double-tailed monster destroys everything in its wake, and they cannot let that happen any longer. You're doing it because you want to be nice. You want to be politically correct, and you're destroying your heritage. They must take control strongly and immediately of the unmitigated immigration disaster and the fake energy.
And look, that all sounds great, and he's 1,000% right. But I have a feeling, we just listened to what he said. And I worry that what Europe heard was, we don't like anyone who isn't white. If you're not white, it's not all right. Like, I worry, 'cause that's always their comeback when you say, hey, like, we can observe you guys fucking over your countries. We can see you guys destroying your heritage. And they hear the word heritage and they go, oh, well, that's a buzzword for white supremacy. It's like, no, we had a way of doing things earlier in my life. And now I see us doing things another way. And I definitely like the other way better. It turned out best for most of us. And I really don't think we should be going down this road we're going down. And that nice gesture, that polite criticism turns into, what are you, some kind of a Nazi? It's like, no, I'm not. As a matter of fact, I'd like to see Nazis not happen. But if you keep going down the road you're going down, I feel like it leads to Nazis eventually. But they don't want to listen because they know better and they have a certain agenda. And their certain agenda doesn't really give a shit about your culture. Put it that way. They want a new culture. They want a global culture. They basically want gray-skinned people. Nothing that is different, nothing that is, unique to a geographical region or a people. They just want globalism. Trump went off on that, too.
The entire globalist concept of asking successful industrialized nations to inflict pain on themselves and radically disrupt their entire societies must be rejected completely and totally, and it must be immediate. That's why in America I withdrew from the fake Paris Climate Accord, where, by the way, America was paying so much more than every country.
That's just it, too. Like, whether it's NATO, whether it's climate change, whether it's all these other things, because we've got the deepest pockets, which we so don't. I hate that. I hate that all these European countries and the United States, and we all act like we're so rich. We're all in debt up to our fucking eyeballs. Like, it's all leveraged to the hilt. What are we going to do? Blow up every other country and just reset the dials? Where is this confidence coming from that we can all spend all this money on shit? I mean, we're getting closer and closer to 200% of our GDP being debt. Meaning our economy produces about 20 to 25 trillion dollars every year, and we're 35 trillion dollars in debt. So we're pushing that 150 number as it is. We might even be over the 150% number. And that's bad. When I was a kid, it was, hey, if it goes over 100, during the Great Recession, it was, if it goes over 100%, you got to keep an eye on it. Well, we're going way past that. And you want to know where inflation comes from? That's a big part of where inflation comes from. Inflating the money supply with dollars you don't have.
Others weren't paying. China didn't have to pay until 2030. Russia was given an old standard that was easy to meet, a 1990 standard. But for the United States, we're supposed to pay like $1 trillion. And
here's the bare raw facts of it. We don't have $1 trillion for ourselves. If we pay $1 trillion for something, it's being printed. It's being borrowed from a gang of private bankers that we're never going to be able to pay back. So this idea that, we can fix all this climate stuff, which we can't, if the United States throws in $1 trillion, motherfucker, we ain't got $1 trillion. If we want to help people here, we ain't got $1 trillion. We have to devalue our currency to spend $1 trillion on something. And, that's like a man standing in a bucket trying to pull himself up by the handles. So I don't. But the rest of the world does it too. And that's the only reason we get away with it, by the way, is because the rest of the world goes, we'll go into debt too. Like, they're all just following us off this fiscal cliff.
I said, this is another scam. The fact is, the United States has been taken advantage of by the world for many, many years, but not any longer, as you probably know.
We're not a victim, though. We do it willingly.
Massive energy production and signed historic executive orders to hunt for oil. But we don't have to do much hunting because we have the most oil of any nation anywhere, oil and gas in the world. And if you add coal, we have the most of any nation in the world. Clean, I call it clean.
That's what I always say. We've always been the biggest coal burners that there are. If there's one thing the United States does better than the rest of the world, we're a bunch of coal burners.
Clean, beautiful coal. You can do things today with coal that you couldn't have done 10 years ago, 15 years.
That's right. They're learning.
So I have a little standing order in the White House. Never use the word coal, only use the words clean, beautiful coal. Sounds much better, doesn't it? But we stand ready to...
I bet she enforces it, too. Sir, we have the new reports on coal production. Excuse me. Oh, sorry. Mr. President, we have the reports on clean, beautiful coal production.
Provide any country with abundant, affordable energy supplies if you need them, when most of you do. We're proudly exporting energy all over the world. We're now the largest exporter.
We are, and it's true. We are the largest exporter. Although we didn't fall that far behind under Biden. We just stopped the growth, and that was, I think, detrimental. I don't think I don't think that was a good deal on our part. King Kong Dong with $1 says a gang of private bankers equals a litter of rich Jews. I didn't say that. You said that. You said I didn't. I had nothing to do with that statement. Marley Analytics with $2 says, "Hey, Aaron, is that a White Claw at 7 in the morning?" No, of course not. It's Celsius. I'm drinking energy. I get up at 5:15 in the morning, and so I throw hardcore energy down my veins. You need me more with $5 says, "Change your date. It's bugging me." Oh, thank you. I didn't change the date today. There you go. 9/24. Sorry about that. And thank you for the $5 and for being the first person on PayPal this morning. That's going to put the old toe 250 away from this morning and 71 memberships away from 600. How the hell is this happening? Thank you very much. Streamlabs, PayPal, Venmo, Super Chats, and Rumble Rants. Thank you very much for your support. Hit like, hit subscribe, keep those numbers going up. We appreciate it. And I don't know, man. When it comes to trying to lecture Europe on what they're doing wrong, you have to understand from Europe's perspective, this is like their little brother telling them how to live their life. I don't think it's received very well. Scouse Ghost, who's new to the show, welcome Scouse Ghost. He's great. He says, "Wow, that must blow out your guts drinking that so early on." I do take a nice shit after the show's over, but it's not a blow out your ass energy drink shit. Although, what are we looking at here? We're looking at 200 milligrams of caffeine. I mean, it's a shot right to your guts, but I don't think it's I don't think it's, tearing my colon apart. But I will say this. It is touching to me that we've built a show with a fandom that's concerned about my colon. The fact that you guys are concerned about my excretory tract, it's not lost on me that that's a sign of caring. And I appreciate that. 09 Canyon welcoming Scouse Ghost back. It's so nice to see new people. See, if you don't travel in the same internet circles all the time and you venture out and you do a real show, new people come and find your program. It's a great source of longevity, which is nice. I should be teaching a class, but the people who need to learn the lesson are probably too retarded to learn it. So then these clips get better and better. Trump then goes on to shit all over Europe for their immigration policies. Remember in his first term, there was that big controversy where people said, Trump said in a meeting that we were bringing people in from shithole countries. And the news did that thing where they reported it and then looked at us and waited for us to be like, oh, man, this is the point where Donald has gone way too far. I mean, Donald Trump saying that, we're bringing in people from shithole countries. I mean, that's just mean-spirited. We're done with this guy. And then the media went, hey, Trump said we're bringing in too many people from shithole countries. They looked at us for our response, and I remember everybody I was around, our response being, yeah, that checks out. You can't tell people in St. Cloud, Minnesota that we're bringing in too many people from shithole countries and expect us to go, oh, how dare he? That's terrible. Like, you drive through the east side of St. Cloud, it's a shithole because we brought people in from shithole countries. We've got a fuckload of welfare fraud in Minnesota. Why? Because people who came here from shithole countries are setting up businesses with the sole intent of ripping off government welfare dollars. So yeah, the shithole thing, I think the media was actually behind on that one by a couple decades. So here's Trump lecturing Europe. I have to ask, like, why invite Trump to speak at the UN? You know he's going to shit all over you. He shits all over this country, and he considers us light years ahead of you.
We have reasserted that America belongs to the American people, and I encourage all countries to take their own stand
white supremacy
in defense of their citizens as well. You have to do that because I see it. I'm not mentioning names.
I love how Fox News cameras go to Mexico and Trump's like, I'm not naming names. Wetbacks. He's just like, illegal immigration is ruining our country. People are sending their dregs and their shit. I'm not naming names. Mexico may. And Fox just puts the camera, and this guy's biting his lip. He's like, I have a feeling he's talking about us.
I see it, and I can call every single one of them out. You're destroying your countries. They're being destroyed. Europe is in serious trouble. They've been invaded by a force of illegal aliens like nobody's ever seen before. Illegal aliens are pouring into Europe. Nobody is ever, and nobody's doing anything to change it, to get them out. It's not sustainable. And because they choose to be politically correct, they're doing just absolutely nothing about it.
I mean, I got to ask, where's he lying? You know, this is good. The CM Punk thing. Tell me when I'm telling lies. What did he say in that's not completely accurate? Hunter with $2 says, don't worry, 4-4 Ron has guts to spare. I'm here to help. The shitting on Europe continued.
Not only is the UN not solving the problems it should, too often, it's actually creating new problems for us to solve. The best example is the number one political issue of our time, the crisis of uncontrolled migration. It's uncontrolled. Your countries are being ruined. The United Nations is funding an assault on Western countries and their borders.
Imagine that you invite a guy into your home to like come and talk to people, and he just tells everyone what a piece of shit you are. Hey, Don, you want to come and make a speech at the UN? I don't think you want me to. No, come in. It'll be great. All right. The UN is fucking gay.
2024, the UN budgeted $372 million in cash assistance to support an estimated 624,000 migrants journeying into the United States. Think of that. The UN is supporting people that are illegally coming into the United States, and then we have to get them out. The UN also provided food, shelter, transportation, and debit cards to illegal aliens. Can you believe
Jesus.
that? On the way to infiltrate.
I believe it. There's a lot of people out there, and their political opinion is that the world should be globalized. There should be no borders. You libertarians would love these lefties. I mean, these lefties are your people. And if you're someone who goes, I'm a libertarian, but I believe in the government should strictly enforce the border, then you're not a libertarian. Grow up, join the rest of us in kind of this amorphous, like kind of right wing, but also with some lefty flavor kind of vibe we got going on. All right. Don't be a slave to a label.
Our southern border. Millions of people came through that southern border.
10 millions.
Just a year ago, millions and millions of people were pouring in. 25 million altogether over the 4 years of the incompetent Biden administration.
I will say, do you guys ever feel like that number just keeps changing? Like at one point it was 3 million. It was 11 million. Now it's 25. I mean, that number it's malleable, I guess.
And now we have it stopped, totally stopped. In fact, they're not even coming anymore because they know they can't get through.
El Salvador just looks fucking depressed. We know there are plane loads of our people coming back, motherfuckers we thought we'd gotten rid of for good. And you keep sending them back. One of them was a wife-beating human trafficker. Luckily, we got him in jail in Kentucky. They're going to send him to Baltimore. Well, like, Mexico's looking pissed. El Salvador's looking pissed. It's like, what? It's your garbage. We just gave it back to you. Well, we were supposed to hang on to your garbage forever? Like, you come to our doorstep and you go, hey, here's a shitload of Glad bags filled with stinky diapers. No, we're going to go ahead and we're going to drive these back to your house and drop them off on your porch. How could you be so racist and hateful? It's like, motherfucker, we got our own garbage to deal with.
But what took place is
we got trans school shooters coming out the ass. We don't need your filth.
Totally unacceptable. The UN is supposed to stop invasions, not create them and not finance them.
That's a fucking good line. I'll tell you what, this was, he's a little older. He's a little slower. But this is kind of like when a fighter has one more good performance. And like, Trump can still turn it on. You know, Ali, when he came back from his suspension from not joining the war, he wasn't always dancing on his toes for 15 rounds like he used to. But he could get up for a round or two and he could start dancing around and stinging. And that's what Trump has now. You know, he doesn't have the energy he used to. He does. And look, man, there's like 6 other clips we could play. It is. I'm belaboring the point here. I understand that, but man, they shut down the escalators on him. They shut down his teleprompter, and he's like, "You might want to turn that teleprompter on because I plan to smoke the lot of you today," and he did. Is it going to cause any changes? No, but I think it is a good way of just, you know, it's good to let these countries know that we're onto your shit. We know what you're doing. You're not tricking anybody. You know, you're not getting one over on us. And that was a great line. The UN is supposed to stop invasions, not finance them.